welcome back to Minding Her Business. Today we're joined by Paige Johnston. Hello.
Hello.
She's the founder of Push Collective, and she's also a full-time content creator and personal trainer and all the things. So welcome. I'm so excited to have you on here.
Yeah. I'm so excited to be here, honestly.
So for those who might not be familiar with you and what you do, I know I kind of gave a little brief intro, but can you let us know what you do?
Yeah. So as you had mentioned, I am the founder of Push Collective, which is an online fitness company. We do nutrition, we do fitness. We really work on empowering women to live happier, healthier lives through all forms of health. So like mind, body, and soul is something that we really preach. And then I also do online content creation on the side, which is really fun. So working with like different brands. And yeah, that's kind of the two together.
So what started first? Did Push start first or did the content creation start first?
Yeah. So like Paige Johnston Fit started first.
Yeah.
And at the time I was operating just as like Paige Johnston Fit in regards to like doing online programming and coaching. And then Push Collective was born just over a year ago. I really transitioned from making it my personal brand to more of like an actual incorporation.
Love that.
Yeah.
So did you have a job before that, or has it always been fitness, content creation, all those fun things?
Yeah. So kind of a little backstory. I was doing my undergrad. I did my undergrad and my master's in human kinetics in the sport management side. And at the time, I really thought that I wanted to be a professor. So that was kind of the end goal. I did my research in women's sport and like the misrepresentation of women. And that's kind of where I was going. So I did my internship at Canada Basketball. So I was really in like the business side of sports. And I just thought I wanted to teach. I loved educating. I loved what that looked like. And at the time, when I was completing my master's, actually, COVID happened. Yes, as it does. So everyone's path, I feel like, shifted a little bit. For me personally, how mine shifted is I started posting online, and I'm sure we'll get into it, but I went through a 50-pound weight loss journey. So I just started posting like online workouts. All my friends and family were like, wait, what are you doing? How are you still working out? We need all the tea. We need the tips. We need the tricks. So I started posting online. While I was completing my master's. And at the time, the end goal was still to teach at the college level or to be a professor, but I didn't really know how I was going to get there. I had talked to a lot of other professors in the industry and they were like, you're so young. Like, you have to wait. You have to get experience. So then in my head, I'm like, okay, I have to get experience in the field, but I don't want to end up in the field, but I have to be in the field to be able to teach it. And then honestly, I got this opportunity at Lambton College. I did my undergrad in human kinetics. So I did this bridging program from Lambton to the University of Windsor. So I did 2 years at Lambton College. I had really good connections there. And they actually had a part-time position come up. So I was offered a part-time position. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is the best thing ever. I'm so young, that's what they were saying. And I got this opportunity. So I was posting online. I'd finished my master's and then I was actually teaching at the college. And then things started to pick up on social media and I just realized that like I loved it so much. Like I remember as a kid, I would always say like, when I grow up, I want to be famous. Like I want people to know me. I want to be on TV. So like I've always been someone who like loves like being behind a camera, like being in the spotlight, if that makes sense. So social media felt like a really authentic fit for me. So yeah, I renewed a couple contracts at Lambton College. I think I did 3 semesters there and I just like took this leap of faith and I was like, Paige, you're going to go 100% content creation and coaching. And yeah, the rest was kind of history.
That's amazing. Honestly, I feel like that's also going to be so inspiring for so many people because everyone, even for myself, sometimes like getting in front of that camera, I preach it to all of our clients, everything. And like, you have to get in front of the camera, blah, blah, blah. But it's hard when it's yourself and just like
it really
putting
is.
yourself out there. And, I'm sure you can attest to this. Sometimes you're going to post something and it's maybe not going to get a bunch of traction to start off with. Like, I'm sure as you were starting it, you're not getting as many views and attention on it as you are now. So can feel a little bit, it's not embarrassing, but it can feel a little embarrassing sometimes. I know for a fact when I see someone trying to, like, I see so many people I went to high school with or friends and friends of friends posting on TikTok, and I'm like, good for you. Like, you have to start somewhere. Like, why not? Who knows if you're going to blow up or not? Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like social media is like the new way where we're going. Like everyone's on social media, every business, like why not? Like I just always say, if there's like this little voice inside your head that says like, should I do it? Then you should do it. And that should definitely apply to social media too.
And it can be your own little diary too.
Yeah,
You don't need to get famous from it. You can just like document your life and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Content creation's fun.
And it really is, honestly. It can be overwhelming at times.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And like you can compare yourself to others, and like there's a whole side that we could get into, but it really is like such a rewarding space to be in.
Have you ever, there's like so many different ways I want to take this right now, but have you ever had to deal with like negativity on some of your posts?
Yeah.
You're just talking about like comparing yourself, and like I'm sure that's also something scary too. If you are going to blow up, everyone has something to say, and it's not always kind.
Yes, 100%. There has definitely been times, and there will continue to be times where someone just doesn't know my authentic self, or you know, online, it's just like if you were to text something, I'm sure you've texted a friend before, or someone's texted a friend before, and then, or someone that they know, and then it's like misunderstood the way that there's, that's not what I meant. And it's like that tone and like everything is like taken a different way. The exact same thing applies to social media. And sometimes like if it's a one-time post and they just come across it for the first time, I can't expect them to know my truth,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So I take everything with a grain of salt. Does it get hard sometimes? Absolutely. But I'm like, a lot of times people just project their own insecurities on somebody else. So like, if it's something that I'm insecure about myself already, yes, it stings a little bit more hearing it, but I don't think that it's something that like I really get caught up in. When I first started, I think I would like reply to all of them. I'd be like, that's not my truth. Like, please understand me for who I am. And then it's like, no, I'm not going to be for everyone.
Yeah.
I'll be for someone, and that's great. And I'll try and find those people. But I feel like when I first started, I tried to be like for everyone. And that's where like that negativity really came in.
The thing that I don't understand about internet trolls, let's call them, is I've never been so deeply offended by someone's post that I feel the need to comment on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I never understand. Like my husband would always say that to me. He's like, but Paige, like you just cannot get caught up in this because you would never do that. I'm like, yeah, I would literally never. Like, I've never once thought to myself, like, I'm a passionate person. Yes. So I'm like, I'm a very passionate person, and I'm not that passionate to make someone else feel that way. Yeah. So it's just very confusing to me. But a lot of times, like, they don't even have a profile picture. They're like, yes, that's just, it's just the reality that the world that we live in, unfortunately. I feel like a lot of it comes from TikTok more than it comes from Instagram. Like, yes, like Instagram, you could build a community a little bit better in a way. Like, who you follow is the content you see. Where TikTok, I could follow you and you might never pop up. My For You page could be full of other creators. Exactly. So that's where that negativity may come in a little bit more. But I just honestly think you have to take it with a grain of salt, because those people, like, they can't rewrite that story for you. You know what I mean? Like
100%. And I think what you said too is so important, that you're not going to be for everyone. And it's just the hard truth of like, you know, you're not going to be for everyone. And those people that you are going to be for, they're going to support you, and they're going to be there, and they're going to follow you. And like, that's who you want to be on your page anyways. Like, you don't want the people who aren't compatible or don't align with the things that you align with. So
yeah, 100%. It's heartfelt to swallow. Not being for everyone. I'm like, wait, this is so sad. But honestly, it's like almost makes the people in your community like a deeper connection with, because you're like, 100%. Like, I love you guys. Thank you.
So something I want to go back to a little bit is you said you decided to take that leap. What was going through your head that was like, okay, I'm ready to take that leap? Did you hit a certain point where you started to get brand deals, or like what made you think, okay, I'm ready to do this full time, or at least I'm going to give it a shot?
Yeah. So at the time I was in like a little bit different of a position than maybe someone starting right now because of COVID. I feel like I just had this like little bit of a safety net. Like I feel like you could use it as an excuse when it was COVID. It was like, oh, it's COVID, so I'll try something new. Like, I don't know why. It's COVID, so I'm going to bake. Yeah. It's COVID, so I'm going to pick up a new hobby. Like, I just felt like I could use that a little bit. And if it didn't work, I knew I had something to go back on. Like, I could always teach. I had my education. Like, there was always something I could go back on. But for me, it was like almost this natural thing that had come up. Like, my contract, I was signing like semester by semester contract.
Okay.
So it wasn't like something I had to like say, hi, I quit. Like, it wasn't, that might have been a different situation, to be honest. I don't know if I could have done it so soon, but it was something that like I either had to resign or I had to not resign, basically. Okay. At the time, it was like, okay, how many hours are going to go into this? And I forgot an important part was this. I was living in Windsor at the time, and the school was in Sarnia. And the first 2 or 3 semesters I was doing it, it was virtual. So I didn't have to drive. Okay. And then this next contract was non-virtual, so it was in person. So I was going to have to drive an hour and a half there, teach, and then an hour and a half back. And like, that was almost just like the break for me. Yeah, where I was like, okay, this is happening for a reason. If they would have offered me virtual, I probably would have just continued to do it.
Yep.
Because it was something I was passionate about. Like I was teaching about stress management, which relates to all my clients, the content that I post. Like it really did go hand in hand with what I was already doing.
Yeah.
But that drive, I think, just made it easy for me to say, like, okay, let's take one semester back. And the advisor there was they were literally amazing. The dean was amazing. They're like, this isn't a no forever. Like, we will always have the space for you. So that kind of gave me like this security net in a way.
Do you think your experience teaching those, like even if they were virtually, gave you the confidence to start doing it yourself and like start push?
Yeah, I think in a way, like I think it more so was on the content side of things because I was behind a screen I was like 25 at the time. And I had students in my class who were like 45. And I'm like, okay, limiting belief is that when you're older, they know more. And I'm like, it was this like really hard thing. Like, oh my gosh, they had to take me seriously. And like, there was so much that I had to overcome that way that really related to content in regards to like, okay, being on a screen, showing up, being confident with the topic I was speaking about. In regards to fitness, yes, it almost like opened my mind to health being more than just physical in a way, because I was talking about like, the mental side of things and like stress relief and different ways to overcome stress. So it really did help me to have tools to help my clients. But in regards to the confidence piece and like social media, I do think that related a bit more.
So something about social media too that, some people are probably curious about, was it a slow build for you gaining that traction, or did, you go viral one night, or how did that work?
A little bit of both. I think when I first started, it was like a slow, like it felt like so long to hit 10,000 followers. It felt like so long.
Yep.
And then it was literally like within 3 months, I went from like, I think like 25,000 to like 150,000. Like it was like crazy. Like it was a long, like I said, long build to get to 10,000. And then it was like kind of a quicker build to get to 25. And then I remember in December 31st, I hit 50,000 followers. And by February, I hit 100,000. So it was like,
that's crazy.
That was really quick for me. I feel like I understood my audience at the time. The algorithm was very different at the time. And I just like knew, I was like so dialed into what it was that I just like kept redoing the things that were working at the time. And for the first, I actually just went back and checked this. It's crazy. Since I posted on social media, which was in 2021, so a long time ago, there was only 4 days that I did not post a story. It was literally crazy. Like I just did this. So now my goal for 2025 was to take every single Sunday, not posting.
Yeah.
Just for my own work-life balance. But it was so crazy to go back. I'm like, oh, I really did not give myself a break. Like it was like an all or nothing thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of how my personality is. But I do feel like, especially at the time, like with COVID, everyone was on social media.
Yes.
So like if you weren't producing like mass amounts of content, you were just falling behind. And that could have been something like a limiting belief of mine that I had. But it just like felt that way. So it was, really crazy that I had to just like, I felt like I had to produce so much so quick.
Well, so many people on TikTok, when they talk about, this is how I grew, like they post 3 or 4 times a day, which is
it's crazy.
Insane. Sometimes I can't even think of what I'm going to post like twice a week.
Yeah, it is. It is very crazy. The only thing with TikTok I feel is it's like a very like unfiltered, just like set your phone up. Hi, I'm making lunch. Like
absolutely.
It takes a little bit less like of a production, if you will, where like an Instagram Reels, I feel, is more professional, if that makes sense.
I completely agree.
So like it just takes more to like edit and craft and all those things. So yes, people are saying like, oh my gosh, I post 3 times a day, but I feel like it's easier to post 3 times a day on TikTok than it is Instagram.
You can just talk to your camera. But
yeah. Now that's hard to do. I'm not saying uploading 3 times is easy.
100%.
I don't even do that. It's so hard to do 3 times, but it's almost like 3 times. It's like imagining FaceTiming your best friend 3 times a day.
Yeah.
You could imagine it because you just set your phone down and you talk to the camera. So yeah, but it is crazy, the amount of content that you have to produce.
And I think too, if you were going to post, and this might be wrong, so if you do this and this works, I'm sorry, but posting 3 times a day on Instagram, like might overwhelm your audience and they might hit unfollow. Like you said, it's very different for the different platforms.
Absolutely. Because your followers are like constantly seeing what you hope, are constantly seeing your content on Instagram, where on TikTok, you are just hoping you come up on someone's For You page who is going to follow you, because it's like constantly like you're constantly pitching to the For You page, basically. Where on Instagram, you're like hoping you land on your followers so that you can then, have them purchase your like services or get in your DMs and create that relationship and like build the trust and whatever that looks like.
And so many people too, I saw a couple TikToks about it and the comments were all saying the same thing, is they don't want to follow people on TikTok because then they don't show up on their For You page, because then you go in like the followers tab and like whatever. So
Going the followers tab. And I feel like no one's going there. I'm always deferring. I'm like, algorithm, give me what I need.
Exactly. So sometimes it's a struggle maybe building that audience on TikTok because they don't want to follow you because they want you to keep popping up on their free page. But
yeah, that's very true.
Okay, so how's Push Collective going?
It's great, honestly. It's literally amazing. Like I said, I was kind of always doing coaching and transitioned from like Paige Johnston Fit to Push Collective. I really felt like it felt weird to me that someone was doing coaching with Paige Johnston Fit. I'm like, I didn't want them to feel like they were trying to be me. I really don't like that. I don't want someone to feel like they have to copy my journey. I have to do exactly what they wanted. And I just felt like it wasn't as safe of a space or as, deep of a community. But Push, like the us and Push, like was really important to me because I wanted it to be like this us thing. Like we're doing it together, not only me and you, but like also other clients and like other coaches that we have on, and like also bringing on someone like Coach Morgan or coaches in the future. They can own this part of Push.
Yeah.
That's them. But like if they work for Paige Johnston Fit, it's just weird to me. I'm just like, I want it to be equally theirs. It is mine. Like I don't want it to be like this thing that I own in a way. Like, yes, of course I own it, but like that it's always coming back to me. Like I want someone else to feel identity in it.
And it allows you to not have to be at the forefront of the business for the rest of its entirety too, right? Like if you want to take a step back at some point and you have incredible trainers at that point to, it doesn't matter because it's not just Justin Fit.
100%. That's kind of the goal.
So you have one person working with you right now?
Yes.
It's incredible.
It's literally so exciting. She's the best.
What made you feel like you were ready to bring someone else on?
I wasn't. Honestly, I was not ready. I did it because it felt right. I'm like big on like intuition and alignment and just like a very like energy wise. Actually, I'm very lucky. Morgan is literally my childhood best friend. We grew up across the street from each other. And then we kind of like went down a separate path. She moved. We didn't really talk to each other for 10 years. Then we like kind of came back into each other's lives. We both like looking back, it's so crazy when you realize like, oh, that's the reason that happened was because of this. Like we grew up across the street from each other. I know in my soul because we were meant to do this. Like it's the craziest thing. I'm like, our parents were meant to buy houses across the street so that we could do this today. We also like had the same one-on-one coach when we both went through our initial weight loss journeys. And like, it's just so ironic that we like share that experience. And it's just so crazy. And like, yeah, it's really, if younger me would not believe that we're here. But getting back to your question, I was not ready.
Yeah.
I don't think you'll ever be ready. It's kind of like kids. Like everyone's like, you'll never be ready. It's kind of same thing, I think, with expanding your business because it's uncertainty. And like for me, my like toxic trait is control. And something I constantly have to work on is like letting go of control. And like, if you're not controlling something, it's not going to succeed. Like that's like a belief that I've always had, which is not true at all. So like having to go through that was really crazy for me. But knowing that there is like no one more who I could trust than her, like, and my family, like my friends and my fiance. But like Morgan was like this person who I was like, I know she will care just as much as I will. And that was like such a safe space and a safe choice for me, knowing that like she's not going to do me dirty, basically.
No, and I think it's really special because I've been following along like your journey and Push and all those things. And, it's not just Paige in like you bring her into it too. And I feel like when you let your team really be a part of what you're creating and feel like it's theirs as well, because she is such a big part of it. And it's not just like, okay, this is me and you're back there. It's like, this is us.
Yeah. 100%.
And that makes them care so much more because like they take pride in that business now too. And no one's going to care as much about your business as you. That's something everyone's probably said.
Yeah.
I feel like when you do that with your team, it comes a lot closer to them caring, as much as you were close.
Yes.
To as much
No,
as
100%. I think that was like kind of the goal of us is like not only from the client standpoint, but anyone coming. Like I am very big on the community and very big on like growing up, I played high level sport and then I played post-secondary. So it's like community and team has always been a big thing for me. And I've always associated health with performance. So being able to like bring that like team like vibe back into my business like felt so right and like so aligned.
Well, you're doing a really good job. Yeah. I love what you're doing. Okay, so you kind of talked about you both went through a weight loss journey. Let's touch on that, and maybe we can talk about yours. We don't have to talk about hers right now because she's not here. We'll let her do that another time. But let's talk about yours.
Yeah,
Wherever you want to start, I'd just love to hear, how that all came to be.
of course. So I guess we'll like kind of throw it way back. I grew up playing sports. I was like that kid who was registered in literally everything. Bless my parents, but I was always someone who was like constantly moving. So over time, I had this like subconscious belief that I didn't even realize that health equaled performance for me. Like you work out or you move your body to get more playing time for the sport that you participate in,
Okay.
or to, hopefully play post-secondary or whatever that was. I'm a very, very competitive person. It's not a good thing. Not the best thing at times. It's like the strength, but also the weakness. Um, so yeah, I was that kid that was registered and everything. And then as you get older, you like have to specialize in a sport, or basically you're probably not going to make it to
Yeah.
the second post-secondary level. So it was always a goal of mine to be able to play at whatever school I was going to be able to play the sport. So I did have the opportunity to play basketball. I specialized when I went away to school, which is like one of the best experiences ever. But during that time, I was living on my own for the first time ever. So I wasn't really focused on like super nutrition wise. I was like, this is great. I get to make my meals myself. I get to eat whatever I want. But
Yeah.
what kept me in that health mentality was sport. So I was really associating like, okay, like I said, I'm working out and I'm doing these workouts and I'm going to basketball practice so that I can get more playing time because I want to be better, because I want my team to be better, because I want to win, you know what I mean? It was just this cycle. So that was really great. That lasted for as long as I played. And then had an injury, which removed me from the sport. And at the time, it was like all or nothing. Like I had mentioned before, I'm an all or nothing girly.
Yeah.
Like I said, strength and weakness, but I wasn't playing anymore. So there was no performance. So I was like, okay, wait a minute. Well, then I'm not going to work out and I'm not going to eat healthy. What would be the point? Like, there's nothing to win at. There's nothing to be better at now.
Yeah.
So I went through this 50, 40-ish, 40 to 50 pound weight gain journey. And like I said, I was very young at the time, but I was in school. So I was like drinking more and I was eating unhealthy and I was like getting takeout and whatever that lifestyle looked like. But I went down this like path that like didn't feel alignment to me because I was always super active. So I was like literally neglected the gym entirely. I was eating whatever I wanted. My mental health was spiraling. I was over consuming alcohol. Like I was just in this very dark place. And at the time I was like, okay, this does not feel like me, but I know I have the ability to be healthy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started working with a one-on-one coach. I was like, I am broke as a student, but I need to physically give someone money or else I am not going to do this.
Really quickly to interject, what was your turning point? Like, what really made you look in the mirror and say, okay, I need to make a change?
Yeah, this is a great question. So actually one of my best friends who's still me and my husband's best friend, he said to me, so I had like said to him, and I've said to all my friends, like, I'm going to start my journey. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to start my journey. I'm going to lose weight. And it was like, are you really? Because you said it to me 100 times. And at the time I had a walking boot on because I broke my foot. I was sitting at his house and I was like, when I get this off, I'm going to start. And he was like, no, you're not. I'm like,
How
what do you
dare
mean?
you?
And he's like, you literally are. You've told me 100 times that you're going to, and you never have. And I was like, the day I get this boot off, you watch me. This will be my day one.
I was like,
What's like this like pump back, like watch me.
Yeah.
And like we've talked about this so many times. It's like he knew in the moment like that I needed to hear that. He's like, I knew that you needed me of all people to tell you, because like we had this like personality where we're like I don't know, just very competitive. So it's like he knew that I needed to hear like you're not going to do it, and he was so right because it literally made me do it. And I got the boot off, and I literally went to the gym one day. I was like, I remember walking on the treadmill like, oh, this is my day one, Daryl. This is my day one. But yeah, that was kind of the turning point for me. And then I got a coach who I stayed with for 6 months. And in the first 52 weeks, I lost 50 pounds, which was literally amazing. It was like transformational. There were some things that I've learned throughout that fitness journey that really helps me as a fitness coach, of like things that I would do differently, or just the mental side of things. Like I really at the time associated health. I associated to performance at first, then I associated to aesthetics, and now I finally associate it to just like wellness, if that makes sense. And yeah, I feel like that journey alone helps me help my clients, but also has helped me find what health truly means to me now.
Good for you. Honestly,
Yeah.
I went through, it wasn't 50, but I went through a little period of same, like bad mental health. I was eating out all the time. I was neglecting the gym, all of the things while I was living in Toronto. And then I just kind of looked and I just didn't like, wasn't comfortable in my clothing. I wasn't comfortable in anything I was wearing. And then mine was a little bit of a slower burn though. I didn't lose anything that quickly. I was still like kind of in the bad habits, but trying to get there
Yeah.
slowly. I think I'm down 20 now. So
That's so
we'll
exciting.
take it. We'll take
Yes. No, that's so exciting. Honestly, I always say like going through a fitness journey and whether it's weight loss, whether it's weight gain, muscle gain, whatever that looks like everyone's fitness journey is going to look different is like one of the best things you can do for yourself. I think it teaches you like so many lessons beyond just what you look like, but like how you feel and like what works for your body and what doesn't and the confidence that you gain and like the mental resilience that you gain. Like so many things I feel like skills that I have now. Like I always say like, thank you fitness journey. You gave me that.
I would note too. I mean, I used Berkeley because I knew Berk for such a long time, but I really needed someone to hold me accountable because I was my biggest enemy in that sense. Like if I don't have to be somewhere, if someone's not relying on me to be at the gym at 7 a.m., I'm not going.
Yeah, 100%. I feel you. It's like humans aren't meant to do things alone. Like we literally are like packed mammals. Like we're not supposed to do things alone. So it makes sense that your journey shouldn't be alone either. And like I think I always preach like what community looks like might be different. Maybe it's a one-on-one coach that you need, or maybe you just need to follow more accounts that align with you.
Absolutely.
Or maybe it's that you need a gym buddy, or maybe it's that you need your husband to start helping you with recipes. Like it doesn't have to be investing in this large amount of money for a fitness coach. Like yes, as a fitness coach, there's a lot of clients who need that, but I think that a lot of people think like, oh, I can't financially afford it right now, or this doesn't feel right to me. Don't just feel like that's the only answer. Like there's other ways to get yourself that support.
When in the nutrition aspect of it, has it always been nutrition a part of it, or is that something that you've like newly learned and feel?
Yeah. So when I first started, like, are you talking about push or like
In general, like, yeah, I guess, did you learn the healthy eating like through your coach kind of thing? Like, did she help with the nutrition or have you always had the nutrition?
Yeah, so my coach, he actually I just did nutrition with him.
Okay.
So it was in like more so we just focused on like calories, protein, like that's what we focused on. So when I first started my journey, a lot of it was quantity, like numbers. Like you hit this calorie goal and this is what's going to happen. And that's correct. It's like if you save more money than you spend, you'll have more money at the end of the month. If you eat less than you burn, you'll lose weight. It's kind of the same thing.
Absolutely.
But after going through that weight loss journey, I feel like, and like honestly, that was 8 years ago that I went through that. I feel like in the last like year specifically, like really last 6 months, I've really focused on like, oh, quality of food is also really important. And I think there's a time and a place for everything. And I have so many of my clients who are like, okay, you're focusing on whole foods more now. Am I supposed to do that? And it's like, some people's journey will look like quality and quantity at the beginning. And maybe some are just going to look like quality. Like, I don't think it's like one size fits all kind of thing. And I think that sometimes it is way too overwhelming to like be eating 100% whole foods and being in a calorie deficit and getting your step goal and going to the gym. It's like, you don't have to do it all. Like you literally don't. And like, I think that you just have to prioritize maybe one or two things, feel really confident in that, and then add the third thing and then add the fourth thing. Like it was 8 years and now I'm just tapping into this like whole foods journey. So like, I don't want someone to think what I'm doing now is what they have to do day one, because that's not the case.
And something I've always been a really firm believer in is like life is all about balance, because life is short and, you know, we're in the prime of our lives for some of us. Like, I don't want to be, you know, counting calories to the point where I'm like, okay, I can't do this or I can't do this or whatever. Like day to day and all those things. And as the coaching, like it's important if that's part of your journey for weight loss and you want to remain healthy, and or if you're a bodybuilder or anything like that. And if that's your journey, that's your journey. But also like, if I want dessert, I'm gonna eat dessert.
Yeah, 100%. No, I 100% agree. And I think we say this to a lot of our clients is like a lot of times how tracking is perceived online is that extreme.
Yeah.
And then clients come with us and they're tracking their calories and they're like, wait, I can have the Oreo cookies? Wait, I can go out for dinner? Wait, I can have the glass of blue. And I think that balance does exist and can coexist. Like two things can be true at once. You can have balance.
Yes.
I just think that it has to come with compromises at times. Obviously, if I'm like getting McDonald's every day, it's probably going to be hard to be in a deficit. But if I plan for that and I want it tonight or I want it tomorrow or I want it to go out for dinner and have drinks. Like you can do both. You just have to plan ahead, which I always say,
Yeah.
and just like you're gonna have to compromise some things.
Absolutely. I can't, I can't say, oh, I'm going to go out drinking 4 times this week,
Yeah.
but it's balance. Like, I need that balance. So that's not really what happens.
I feel like I use the word balance, like a little too much in the beginning of my journey. I was like, oh, it's balance. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it's like, are we using that as a crutch or are we using it as a true balance? Because I think sometimes the lines cross there a little bit. And also what balance looks like to me might not be balanced to you. So I think that's also super important is like, what does that feel and look like to you? And like really making those strives towards that.
Something I want to speak on as well is kind of goes back to this and like the nutrition and your weight loss journey and all those things. Do you think that's positioned you as an expert and a trustable, is that a word? Trusted person in your industry? Because there's so many fitness influencers out there that it's like, who do I trust? Whatever. Do you think that's helped you with your upper hand and like growing your audience?
Yes, I do. Like I will always stand on the leg of like education is so important.
Mm-hmm.
However, on social media, like not everyone knows it. Like you're not just like, hi, I have my master's. Hi, I went through a weight loss phase. Like, yes, you use that, but I don't think it's not like a resume. Like someone's not like looking for that, especially as the qualifications check. I always say to people, and I don't think we do it enough, and it's something I want, like I'm trying to improve on is like, who makes me feel better about myself? Mm-hmm. And if they feel if I feel better about myself, then follow them. But if they make me feel worse, then don't follow them. And like their intention might not to make me feel worse. They have not that ill intention. It just might be triggering to me or whatever it looks like. So like, yes, I would love everyone to like come to me because I had the education, I have the experience, the personal experience. I working with clients and doing it myself. But at the end of the day, I want someone to come into my space because they feel safe, not because I've like persuaded them or like bribed them to come.
Absolutely. It 100% makes sense. I really like that actually, like answer. And you've also mentioned that you have tried to be your authentic self online and through the business and all those things. Do you ever feel like you have to put on that online persona, or do you think you're always, it's kind of a loaded question, but like authentic in the content that you create and you can just be yourself on social?
I think I would be lying if I was like, yeah, I'm 100% myself. I never have to put on the social media presence. It's like saying to someone, like, do you have a telephone voice? And them saying no. It's like, hello? Like, it happens. It can't not happen.
Yes.
But I think that if you have awareness about something, if you're aware of something, you're more likely to not be that. If that makes sense. Like, I remember, and I still do it, like, I constantly ask my friends and my family, like, am I showing up on social media the same way, like, as I am? Like, who am I on social media to you? Does it feel right? Like, does it feel like me? And like, I'm always open to that feedback, whether it's like, no, this doesn't feel like you, or like, I want that. Those are hard conversations to have, but I really do want that because I don't want to be the person who someone meets and they're like, wait, who are you? Like, that doesn't seem like you. Like, I never want that to be the case. Obviously, it's my job. Like, your job self and your at home with your dog and husband self might be a little bit different.
Like being the best version of yourself.
Yes.
But you're still yourself.
Yes. I hope that I am still myself. Like, I would never want to be the person who shows up differently. But like I said, it's like an elevated professional version.
Absolutely. That completely makes sense. And I like the work comparison there because obviously we're going to work. You're still yourself, but you're presenting your best self.
Yeah, right?
You're not just going to be putting your feet up and eating your whatever at your desk. It's going to be different. So I want to bring it back to push because obviously this is, the entrepreneurship and all those things. And I think it'd be great to talk about. So it looks really glamorous online. And some people talk about, the hardships and all those things of entrepreneurship, but I'm going through it. You're going through it. It's not always as easy as it looks or seems. Do you feel that? And like, how is entrepreneurship to you?
Oh my gosh, it's so hard. It's like the hardest thing I've ever done. Like, there's so many things I just don't know. Like taxes, no idea. I'm learning that, like, don't know. Bookkeeping, or like, where should I be investing? Where should I not? How much should I be spending on marketing? How much should I not? Like, there are so many unknowns that come up every single day. I'm like constantly like, am I faking it till I make it here? What's going on? Like, even like contracts, like getting lawyers and like, it's just so crazy. Like, and all that costs a lot of money. And as a small business, those are big investments that you have to make.
Absolutely.
But they're necessary, obviously. I am very big and like, this is like in every aspect of my life of being like, does this feel right to me? Does this feel right to me? Like, I always go back to like my intuition. Like, how does it feel in my body? Like, okay, what would it like closing my eyes? Cause that's what I do. Like, what would it feel like if I made this choice? Okay. What would it feel like if I made this choice? And I try to lead with my intuition quite a bit, which sometimes isn't great as an entrepreneur because you do need that logic side.
Yeah.
But my husband is like so helpful because he is very logical. Like I am very like, like, what does my emotions say about it? What does my heart say? So that helps, but it is 100% a fake it till you make it. And like, there's a lot of things that I don't know and I just will never know. And that's okay. I think like, hiring out is like really important too, just because like everyone has a specialty for something, right? So like that's where
teacher full
yeah. And the marketing agency to be able to do your marketing, that's what they're good at. But not hiring out too much where then you're putting yourself at a financial risk. I think it's like a fine line.
You just lead right into my next question a little bit. And you don't have to get into the nitty gritty of this, obviously, but do you ever feel like it's a little bit stressful not having the financial stability of a 9-to-5?
Stability financially, no.
Okay.
Perks, yes. Like when I think about like eventually we want a family. Okay, so what does maternity leave look like? No one just gives me money. Wait, what? Or like benefits or
benefits is huge,
right? Like being in those more traditional roles of a teacher, a nurse, whatever that looks like, you have that stability.
Absolutely.
And that is 100% a pro. Like absolutely that's a pro, but that will never outweigh the freedom of like creative directing that I get to do or, like we get to do whatever we want. Like with our business, like that is so cool. Like I've always said this, like I'm such a hard worker, but I am a harder worker. I'm not as hard of a worker as an employee. It's the weirdest thing. Like I'm still a great employee, but I'm a way better entrepreneur. And knowing that, it's like, that is what I'm meant to do. Will there be struggles? Absolutely. But like every job has a struggle. And I think that I'm in a position where my husband, for example, is in a traditional role. So it gives me a little bit of safety. Like, okay, I'm on his benefits.
Yeah.
Okay. He could take paternity leave. Okay. Like there are some things like that allow this like balance almost. But yeah, I think that being capped financially literally gives me so much anxiety. So although you have the stability of knowing for sure what you're making, only being able to make that much is like, like that's very hard for me. So like that pros of being an entrepreneur just like totally outweigh it for me.
And when I say this, there's absolutely nothing with getting a classic 9-to-5 or anything like that. I mean, some days I think about it. Not gonna lie, I'm like, should I go on LinkedIn and get some jobs, or am I going to do this? And it'd be nice, but something that has resonated with me that I've seen on like Instagram or some quote somewhere is, you either can make yourself rich, and rich is a loaded.
Yeah.
Like I don't, everyone's version of rich is different and whatever. I'm not trying to be a multi-gazillionaire or anything, but you can make yourself rich or build your own kind of empire or something for yourself, or you can help build someone else's.
Yeah, literally. I saw that too, and I'm just like,
and
okay,
I think about it. Yeah, and I think about it all the time. And I think, again, leading back to having your team, like I'm sure Morgan.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Ireland again. I'm sorry. I love saying Morgan feels like she's like building an empire with you too. It's not like she's helping build yours. Like you're building it together. And I mean, I'm speaking for Morgan. I apologize if that's not.
Yes, I hope that is the case.
Yeah, I think that's how she would feel too. And that's no, I'm just talking. I'm sorry. But this other girl that works for me too, I asked her when I was interviewing her, I was saying, why do you want to work for a small business? I can't pay you this much. I can't do this. I can't do that. And she's like, well, I'm not going to feel like a number. I actually have say in the things that are going to happen around here, like a little bit more. And I'm going to feel like I helped grow this instead of just, like I said, like another number. And I think that's so special in itself too.
100%. I think it takes a specific person to do that. I think it takes a specific person to be the entrepreneur. I think it takes a specific person to be the first hire. And I think that if you can find that perfect match, it's like creating something like so magical, because absolutely you get to look back one day, like even like Morgan's 1 year anniversary with us is coming up soon. And it's like looking back at like even what 1 year ago looked like. It's like, wow, like obviously I'm a dreamer. So like I'm never satisfied, as friends and family would say. I think it's a strength. They might think it's a weakness. But like yeah, I have a vision of where we want to be and where we're going to be. But it's so cool to look back and be like, whoa, but look how far we've come.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm gonna leave it there because I feel like we're approaching time a little bit, and we do have a special segment. But I do like to open the floor to if you have anything that we didn't touch on, or something you'd like to say to anyone listening, or anything like that that you feel like we didn't touch on.
Yeah, I think we got to talk about a lot, which is
Yeah,
just,
I think you did.
fitness,
Yeah.
entrepreneurship a little bit. I just think the overall thing, like for me, is just going with your intuition, whether you're in this space of fitness or entrepreneurship or whatever that looks like. Trusting yourself. I know that's really hard in the world that we live in with like all these voices saying like you're doing this wrong or be this or compare yourself to this person. But I do think that if you go back to like your inner self, like you can never make the wrong choice. And if it was not the outcome you expected, like you'll always look back and be like, that's why it happened. Okay. Like you just get that job, or maybe you know, missed the stoplight or something happened. And then you're like, oh my gosh, there was an accident up the road or whatever that looked like. There's always a reason. Like there's,
Have you heard of the bird toast theory?
yes, that literally. You're like so mad at that dang toast. You're like, oh, and then it's like, okay, you prevented the accident.
Yeah.
I really believe that in all aspects of life. So yeah, if you're watching, I just encourage you to like find that inner voice in yourself, and tap into it.
And something I just took a peek at my questions, and there's something I didn't ask, but it could still relate to that answer, just to make sure, because I did like it. So for any women who are listening who feel stuck, whether it's their body, their mindset, or their business, what's something that you'd want them to hear, or want you to hear if you were in that position? Which could be the same answer as you.
Honestly, I think for that, I would say, what is your why? Or like, be strong in your why. And I think a lot of people, they have a why they started, but they lose touch with it as they go. And I think it almost like keeps you humbled, keeps you motivated, keeps you disciplined, whatever it is, like all those positive attributes you can get out of yourself. If you go back to the why, like, okay, I want to lose weight. Why? What is the reason? Or I want to start a business. Okay, why? What's the reason? If you remember that during those hard moments, because everyone's going to have hard moments, whatever it may be, if you remember, okay, that why, it'll give you like that spark, that like inner, like, okay, I can do this, like this boost. And I think a lot of people lose touch with that as they grow, or as they lose weight, or as they, get deeper into their business, or whatever that looks like, whatever way you want to apply it to. If you lose touch with it, I think that you can feel lost. So just always go back to your why.
I'm not gonna lie, going through a bit of a rut right now, and I needed to hear that. So if no one else gets any benefit from that, I did. There we go. Thank you. I'm gonna keep that in replay. Okay, so we're gonna move to our special segment. That was incredible. So it's called "What Would Push Do?"
I love that.
So I'm gonna say something, and basically you're just gonna say like what you would kind of say to that client, but I say that at the end. So number one is you've been consistent with your workouts and eating habits for 3 weeks, but the scale isn't moving. So you're frustrated. And what would you say to that client who's feeling that frustration?
Oh, that is great. I love this. First, we talk to our clients every single day. So like we would be talking in the meantime, but I would first ask, okay, how are you feeling? How's your energy? If the scale wasn't there, how would you feel? And a lot of times it's, oh my gosh, I feel great. I've been sleeping so good. I have so much energy. My pants are feeling looser. I'm like, great. Forget about the scale.
Yes.
If that is the case, then we celebrate that, because you know what? The scale is just a number. Like it is not something that you should put all of your eggs in the basket for. If you want to see that number go down, sure, I can understand how that, I'm not saying have zero attachment to it. I think that it can be a goal. You shouldn't feel shame for making it a goal. But also look at other things. And then if the client were then to say like, yeah, I feel really good. Okay, great. Now let's talk about compliancy. Let's talk about like, hey, how has your accuracy been? How has your workouts been going? If all these things are going really well, then let's not stress. Who cares? But if you can say like, you know what, a few workouts, you know what, okay, we're not going to beat ourselves up over it. We're not going to shame ourselves for it, but let's use this as motivation to then get back on track. So yeah, it's kind of 2 parts.
10 out of 10. So okay, so this one goes back to a little bit more content creation side. So you want to grow your online brand, but you're terrified to show your face on camera. How would you tell someone to get past that?
Do it. Just literally do the dang thing. I think imagine yourself FaceTiming your mom. Like imagine, it's like everyone always says like, oh, you're giving a public speech. Everyone's in underwear. Like it's kind of that situation. It's like, imagine you literally FaceTiming your mom. I think that you're only seeing you, and like, remember to yourself, like you would never judge somebody for being on social media. So why would you judge yourself? If that makes sense. But I always do say, like, just FaceTime your mom. Like, whatever you're going to say, imagine your mom was there and you're just FaceTime her, or your husband or your best friend or your dad or whatever that looks like,
Yeah.
a comfortable person to you, and literally just post it. Because I think that if you don't, you're only going to have regret. Like, what is going to be the regret of doing it? Right? Like, there's so many good things that can come from it.
Also, think of Alex Earl. Think of the people that like probably making fun of her or whatever for doing her get ready with me, and now look at her. Like, who's laughing now?
Yeah.
Right? It's just yeah. And if those people are making fun of you, you don't want them in your lives anyways. That they are not going to be your support system or anyone you'd want to be associated with. Anyways, okay. So number 3, you keep saying I'll start Monday, but Monday keeps coming and going. What do you tell someone stuck in that cycle?
That's really hard. I feel like I was stuck in that cycle too. I would say there's no perfect time. There's no, I feel like that's what it is. People think like I have to have this perfect grocery haul done. I have to have all of my workouts planned out. I have to have this perfect gym fit. I have to have this exact amount of money. I have to have all these, you have this like huge idea of what this day one would look like. So then you never start. You just keep pushing it off. And it's like, just literally start. Like, just make one step. Write down one thing. Like, I think a lot of times what happens is like, okay, healthy. This is like my biggest limiting belief is I always convince myself that what healthy looks like, or what an entrepreneurship looks like, or what meditation looks like. And then if I don't look like that, I'm like, oh, I'm failing. It's like, no, my version of it's going to be a little bit different, and that's okay. That's like the beauty. That's the beauty of the world that we live in. So it's like, if you're not starting because you're like, okay, I can't get 10,000 steps, or I can't eat these certain meals, or I can't go to the gym this many weeks. Okay, but what can you do? Can you prep your breakfast in the morning? Can you get a 30-minute walk in? Can you park your car a little bit farther from the place that you work? If you can do one small thing every single day, that will compound to like something much larger in the future. So like, just start small.
I'm kind of obsessed with that answer. So again, 10 out of 10. Okay, we'll do one more. I kind of like this one. So you've been working on your mindset, but your environment isn't supportive. So maybe your friends or your family don't get it. Not necessarily they're saying mean things to you, but they just don't understand your vision. How would you protect your growth?
That's great. We just had we just asked actually all of our clients this week in our check-in form. Is like, what do you do in those situations? We always ask our clients that they can share, and they get those tips and tricks from other people. I think you are an average, like I'm sure everyone's heard of it, but you're an average of the 5 closest people you hang out with. So if you don't like the average that you're seeing, then change the people you're associating with. Like, that sounds so blunt, and I don't mean it in a very negative way. I just mean, like, if that's not the environment that's going to support you, maybe that's not the environment for you anymore. I always think like people are in your life. What is it, for a reason, a season, a lifetime? Mm-hmm. Like, maybe it was for one reason, or it was just this short season. Like, I think people get tied to being in that same environment for the rest of your life. Like, you were friends with these high school girls. You have to be friends with them when you're grandmas. Like, it might not be the case. Like, maybe that relationship was really good because you needed them to get through that situation. I think just reevaluate your environment. I think be confident in you don't have to explain yourself, but be confident in your vision. Like, I feel like that's always what happens. Like, know that people sometimes are just asking because they're curious. They're not asking to be rude. It just might come across as rude because you're insecure about it. Yeah. But have the conversation. Say it one time of like, hey, this is why I'm doing it. I'm really excited. Like, if you say something, if I say to you, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, I'm starting my fitness journey, and then you say something mean, it's like, okay, I know that the line is very clear. Absolutely. But 9 times out of 10, the person was just asking because they had a question. So if that's the case, that's fine. Educate them. And if maybe that negative comment keeps coming up, be able to say like, hey, like, that doesn't support me. Like, give them the opportunity to grow. Don't just cut them from your life. Like, give them the opportunity to say, hi, that made me feel this way, so that they can then improve and work on it. Like, I think we don't all know what we're doing to trigger people until we're told. So yeah, it's kind of like 14-part answer. No, that's what I would do.
I love it. Again, I love it. These are all been absolutely incredible answers. Keith, how are we doing for time? Okay. We're at 53 minutes. I have one more question that I missed that I actually think could be 50 minutes. Okay, perfect. 50 minutes. Okay, I'm taking this time to answer or to ask one more question. So something I had in here, but I didn't touch on was, some people could be starting their content creation career and don't know when they hit that point of like, should I get an agent? Am I actually like doing something with this? Something like that. Like, when did you realize, okay, it's time for me to start legitimizing it in a way, or like reaching out to an agent kind of thing?
To be honest, I feel like I feel like people just don't understand what that process really looks like. I have been looking to get an agent for so long. It is very hard because
Okay.
they only take on so many people. And like, I went through so many interviews with agents. Basically how it works is like, it's not like you pay them. Like they get a portion of the brand deals that you do. So it's like, it costs the agency to bring you on, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
in a way, like I know that there's just like not enough information out there. So fully transparent. That's how it works.
No, I love it. I don't.
Yeah. And I didn't even know. I didn't even know how it works. So like a lot of agencies were reaching out. You have to go through like an interview process where like, hey, what brands have you worked with? What brands are you working with? How much on a monthly basis are you making from brand deals? What are your long-term contracts? What are your goals? What are your algorithm? What's your reach? Like so many other things. You pitch yourself, you go through the process, and like not only do you have to have an agency who's willing to take you on, but also an agent who you align with and they align with. So it has been a very long time. I would have loved to have an agent so long ago. But I'm so thankful that I now have one. Like that happened just in December. And I think that everyone's journey for that is a little bit different. I think that maybe if I was 100% content creation, it would have come a little bit faster. And maybe it was scary for some agencies to be like, oh, but she's not 100% content creation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So will she prioritize something else? Like that could have been the reason, or it could have just been like, that I wasn't meant to work with them. I was meant to work with the agency that I am with and the agent that I am with, who is literally amazing. Bless them. But yeah, the process is like can be very overwhelming. Like anyone, it's so sad to be told no and be told that they don't want you and they're going to find someone else. So that was a very humbling experience. But yeah, I don't think it's like, okay, you hit this number and then it's right. Like, I think that, someone who has 10,000 followers could have a crazy engagement rate and that makes them, really good fit with this agency. Or maybe they have 500,000 followers, but they don't have a good engagement rate, or maybe they don't have good brand deals, or maybe they have great. It's so complex.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they were looking for, to be honest. I think personality has something to do with it, but like obviously like numbers, like it's a business. It's a business for them as it is for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's like, there's not really a set answer. I would say I'm always the person who's like, I will pitch myself to literally every single person. Like,
Yeah. You have
like,
to be your number one.
100%. Absolutely. Like, I have a huge goal of mine, which one day will happen. Is like to be on reality TV, to do a reality TV show, Amazing Race, Big Brother, something like that. It's always been a goal. I will and have DM'd a producer before being like, POV, you casted me. Like, am I literally harassing them every single day? Absolutely not. Like, I'm so big on like shooting your shot. So if you feel like that's a step that you're ready to take, just message that. Like, I think that's something we should be encouraged to do more.
Maybe you and your husband can go on Temptation Island.
Yeah, right? Imagine. No.
My gosh, it goes be so boring. No, I know. I was watching it and like I have no problems with Chris, and I'm like, we're fighting now because this is angering me. It was a crazy watch. That's a crazy show.
Crazy. Yeah, it was nuts. I'm a huge sucker for reality TV.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
It's so good.
Well, we'll have to have you back if you'll come on when you're a reality TV star.
Yeah, there we go. Remember that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. This has actually been a great conversation, and I feel like I've gained a lot of knowledge and empowerment too for myself, because you're such an inspiring person and the words you say really resonate with me. So thank you so much for taking the time.
Yes, thank you. And thanks for watching.
Until next time, thank you so much for watching Minding a Business, and we'll see you later. Bye.